The Big 12 needs to get it together before it all gets entirely out of hand. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. Sometimes being in this chair feels like I'm babysitting 16 fan bases that are always either very happy or very sad about something. And how do you represent all 16 fan bases? Well, you do one thing that every single person who listens to or watches this show can agree on. You tilt your head a little bit, either left or right, and the entire comment section can all get behind one another and saying, why is that guy tilting his head? Well, I read your comments, and I thank you. I guess I'll stop tilting my head, and I'll start policing whatever's going on in this conference. Utah's mad at BYU. BYU's mad at Baylor. Baylor's mad at BYU. I don't know what Cincinnati's doing. Houston's mad at Kelvin Sampson, whatever happened in the national championship game. Texas Tech is rich, and they won't share with anybody else. And I don't know what to do about Kansas basketball. Flory Badunga is back. Arizona State still has the same head basketball coach who's really bad at coaching basketball. This conference, West Virginia's athletic director just hired his coaching buddy who has never been to the NCAA tournament as a head coach, but is maybe a good head coach. We're going to figure it out, but maybe he's such a bad head coach that donors will actually give more to Rich Rodriguez in football, even though he's a controversial head coach. I look around the league and I see unrest. The 16 fan bases, the 16 families have become as tumultuously angry at each other as they have been since the schools, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State, were added to the league. When the other four came in, they were so beautiful, so new, so fresh. BYU, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, they were happy to be here. The other 8 were happy they were coming in, and we were going to have this great, big, happy family where we all got along together. And then there were 14 because Texas and Oklahoma were still here. They left. We got 4 more schools. And now I want to have a heart-to-heart. Baylor fans are mad at BYU. Baylor got Jeff Grimes, Eric Mateos. Baylor got Caleb Lohner and the Barrington brothers. And the player to be named later was Rob Wright from BYU. And everybody's like, oh, BYU, they're paying all this money. That's where Utah fans come in. They're super ticked at BYU because, oh, well, if your commitment is to faith, how could you ever give NIL money? If you're a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, how could you possibly give your money toward BYU's NIL collective? And if these players are going to BYU, they're not Dallin Hall types. They're much different than that. How are they going to commit to this honor code? It must change. So somehow we have this weird deal where BYU fans always hate Utah fans. Utah fans always hate BYU fans. But now Utah has somehow wedged itself into the BYU conversation about NIL. Then there's West Virginia, as I alluded to. Their fan base is just confused right now. You've had new head coach after new head coach, whether it be in basketball, an interim in basketball, a new head coach in basketball, and then a different new head coach. And then there's the football conversation of Neil Brown finally being fired after not being in the top 25 once. You hired Rich Rodriguez, who is a legend there, but also the legend that left you, who left home to go to Michigan for an opportunity. And you know my stance on opportunities if you watch this show. Their fan base is confused. UCF, Johnny Dawkins, in the same boat as Arizona State. What do you do? The coach who is heading up your basketball team is a legend. They just can't really win games. Cincinnati. Well, they were supposed to go to the NCAA tournament last year. They were a top 25 team preseason for a lot of people, even top 20 in some polls. And they were pretty darn bad. Almost non-competitive in the Big 12. Houston. Final 2 offensive possessions in a national championship game. Just forgot how to do basketball. Iowa State. TJ Otzelberger, as great as he is in the regular season, when's the Final Four run come? When are we going to see Iowa State's culmination? Kansas, Hunter Dickinson, what a failed experiment. A 7th seed as the preseason #1 overall, a first-round exit. The first time a #1 overall team in the preseason has exited in the first round since Kansas under Bill Self. Kansas State, whatever is going on with Jerome Tang, half of the fan base hates him all of a sudden. Last year, it was, well, the athletic department, the president of the school, they're not giving him a fair shake. He needs time. And now it's, well, half of us just really hate Jerome Tang. Then you didn't for a little bit because he started winning, and then he started losing again. TCU. Oh. I mean, is this it? Is this the cap in college basketball for TCU? Are we going to settle? Maybe the answer is yes, but you live in Dallas. You should be able to get great prospects to TCU. Jamie Dixon, who is a native son, right? We love Jamie Dixon. Will he ever win in March Madness? Will TCU ever be perennially good in basketball? Oklahoma State had the worst, I think it was official, the worst combined winning percentage in conference if you take basketball and football and put them together. Oklahoma State, you've been here for a long time. Baylor, I can count on 3 fingers the amount of basketball players you have next season, much less one hand. Jason Pierre-Paul can count on one hand how many basketball players you have coming into Waco next season, and their transfers. I trust Scott Drew. I think he's going to win, but you lost John Jacobs, you lost Jerome Tang, you lost Grant McCasland, and McCasland was maybe the first big domino to fall, and you wonder, where will Baylor go now? What will Baylor do now? Will the Bears be good next year? Texas Tech, I don't really know how to complain about you. The Big 12 got 24 blue chip prospects through the transfer portal in football. Texas Tech got 12 of them. That is 50%. It's how you say good. Colorado, bad at basketball. Arizona, terrible at football. Not really sure what happened there. Had arguably the best quarterback in the Big 12 preseason, the best wide receiver in the Big 12 preseason, and they just didn't really do much. Beat Utah, though. Utah, you're mad at BYU. Can you win at something? Hard to be a heel. Hard to be mad at anybody when you're not winning. And I already mentioned Arizona State and their situation with Bobby Hurley in basketball. I think that's everybody. Everybody has something to complain about right now. UCF got a new football coach. Houston's on year 2 of football coach. You had some highs last year, but you also had a couple games where you just didn't score a point. And for me, as much as I love the Big 12, you got a lot of infighting right now. Schools stealing players from other schools, giving them $3.5 million, and that school being upset. Well, you know what? If you want to keep that kid, pony up the money. How much is he worth to you? And then Utah fans saying, oh, well, BYU is not a religious school anymore because they can afford NIL. Oh, BYU's rich, so they can't be a religious school. They can invest in athletes like every other school in the country, like Baylor, like Notre Dame, like other schools that are committed to faith. When we all die, will Jesus not love the BYU and Baylor fans the same? And as much as it may pain you to hear this, the Utah fans too. A lot going on around the league right now. I'm not sure if that's all a good thing. Maybe it is. Maybe conflict. Conflict does drive attention. Do we need more conflict? Is that what we're going for here? Huh. Overall, babysitting's sometimes fun. I get paid to babysit, so that part's good. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but it feels kind of like the ACC is supposed to be the disheveled stepchild where you're like, those guys really are going through the ringer right now. That really sucks for their whole, everybody, because they might fall apart. Let's not be that. Let's be kind to each other for a day, just for this weekend. Maybe I'm just feeling cynical. It's been an emotional week. I'm sorry if I'm taking it out on you. Today's show is brought to you by TurboTax. This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back, then waiting and wondering and worrying even more. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return. While you get real-time updates on their progress, you can focus on your day. An expert who will find every deduction possible, file every form, every investment, everything 100% accurate. So you can get your money back guaranteed. No waiting, wondering, worrying. Now this is taxes. Get an expert at TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for listening to the show. I really appreciate that, by the way. This is like a weird... What do you want me to talk about now? I know what I'm going to talk about. I've got topics. I've always, when somebody's like, mailbag, that usually means they don't know what to talk about. I don't think we didn't get to that point last offseason. We won't this year. I've got plenty. You know me, plenty to talk about. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose grande.